So far we discussed of the rDNA technology, recombinant DNA technology, the different steps what we discussed, that isolation of passenger DNA and vector DNA, then the cleaving of the both of the DNA, passenger and vector DNA at restriction site by using the restriction endonuclease. Even though the digestion is done separately, the enzyme is same enzyme is used to cut to cleave both the DNA, passenger and vector DNA. Then they are separated, the fragments of passenger DNA are separated by gel electrophoresis. Then the separated DNA fragments are collected, transferred to the nitrocellulose membrane or nylon membrane by the process Southern blotting. Then recombinant DNA are produced, formed. How they are formed? They are incubated. The passenger DNA, the desired gene or the desired DNA fragment, the vector, the digested vector, and along with the ligase, they are incubated so that the DNA fragment, desired DNA fragment is incorporated with the vector DNA producing the rDNA. And now the time to introduce it into a cell. How the desired gene or the DNA fragment is introduced. So, introduction of recombinant DNA is introduced into a host cell for cloning or into a cell, into a target cell for expression. Actually, it may be introduced, the rDNA is introduced into a host cell for cloning, host cell for cloning, or into a target cell in which we need the expression, for expression of the trait. Okay. Now, in which cell these are introduced? Basically, these the rDNA are introduced into the E. coli cells of the E. coli, the Bacillus subtilis. Why the Bacillus subtilis? Because it is capable to survive in extreme conditions. That's why Bacillus subtilis bacteria is also used, even the yeast is used. Okay, these bacterial cells should be without plasmid. Bacterial cells should be without plasmid, are taken without plasmid, because these rDNA means R plasmid, recombinant DNA means here the vector is the plasmid and the desired gene. So, it should be without plasmid. Okay, only simply as we discussed that only the bacterial cell having its own the bacterial genome without plasmid. This may be, the introduction may be direct or indirect. What we can see, the desired gene, what is being transferred, either the recombinant DNA, rDNA, even the naked DNA, naked desired gene, DNA segment, DNA fragment, naked DNA fragment, or the recombinant means along with the vector or simply naked DNA are introduced. They are introduced into the cell, into which cell? Host cell or target cell, host or target cell. In what way? Direct or indirect? Means direct or indirect. Indirect means through vector. Direct means vectorless. Indirect means using the vectors, through vectors. Direct means vectorless. Okay. Generally, the different methods, they include the general methods of transfer or the introduction of rDNA or the naked DNA, the desired DNA fragment occurs through three processes. One is transformation, and transfection, and transduction. Transformation. Let us discuss the transformation. Generally, it is the transformation is generally the gene transfer or the transfer introduction of the DNA into the prokaryotic cell. Generally, it is not bound to only the transfer of the DNA fragment into the prokaryotic cell only, but generally it is meant for the intake of the DNA fragment, the naked DNA fragment from the environment by a bacterial cell in a medium which is where it is made competent. Means, again I am repeating. First of all, the cell is made competent. The bacterial cell is made competent. And how it is made competent? In the medium, the calcium chloride is used. And in that calcium chloride, in the medium, calcium chloride is added to make the cell, host cell competent, means permeability. It increases the permeability of the cell membrane. Then the naked cell is also placed with that, and the direct uptake of the DNA fragment and the incorporation with the host DNA genetic material or host DNA, resulting into the recombinant within the host cell, and which can be cloned. So, what is transformation? So, you see generally in the bacteria prokaryotic cell, the uptake of the exogenous genetic material, exogenous, not its own, the DNA of some other species, okay, exogenous DNA segment or fragment from the environment and incorporates it into its own chromosomal DNA, okay. So, generally the uptake of DNA fragment by a prokaryotic cell, that is bacteria, whereas the transfection, okay, how it is done? Just you see, suppose here is the medium, okay, some here calcium chloride is added, here is the suppose bacterial cell, okay, and having its own chromosomal part, and here is the DNA fragment. DNA fragments are left, and so that calcium chloride make it permeable, and the DNA fragment, the foreign exogenous DNA fragment enters and incorporates, and in splicing occurs at a place, it incorporates, okay. At any point it is joined with the chromosomal DNA. Then another is transfection. Transfection, what is transfection? Here also the uptake of exogenous DNA, but generally by a eukaryotic cell. Uptake of exogenous DNA fragment by a eukaryotic cell, and mostly it is in the plant or animal cell. Okay, so these are again of 3 types. We will discuss in detail. What are they? Micro injection, gene gone, different methods, electroporation, remember these make the physical methods. Transfection again, it may be physical or chemical. These are the physical transfer method, physical method of transferring the gene DNA fragment is transferred to the target cell directly, to a plant cell or animal cell, and electroporation generally in plant cell. Chemical, another method is chemical. In chemical method, used for the transfer of the genetic material, that may be PEG, polyethylene glycol, or the liposome mediated, we can say lipid bags, liposome mediated, that is nothing but the lipid bags. Okay, these chemicals are introduced with the cell membrane, attached to the cell membrane, so as to for the transformation of transformation means when the DNA content, the genetic material of the cell is recombined, then altered DNA, altered chromosomal content of a cell, then we can tell that the cell is transformed, but here transferred, for the transfer of the gene into a cell by chemical method. Physical, micro injection, gene gone, or electroporation. Let us discuss. Yes, here micro injection. Okay, TION, gene gone, electroporation. Here liposome, SOME, liposome mediated or lipid bags are used. Write down all these. Micro injection, the introduction of the foreign gene, the desired gene, into a plant or animal cell, injecting the here micro injection means injecting the desired or foreign gene into a plant or animal cell by using a fine needle or micro pipette and a holding pipette. This is the holding pipette, okay, to hold by suction pressure. Holding pipette, this one is holding pipette. This is fine needle. By using a fine needle micro pipette, it is also called micro pipette, glass needle or fine needle, and and a holding pipette. This plant cell is generally callus. Plant cell generally callus, and animal cell generally used is fertilized cell is used. The plant cell generally is the callus. And in animal cell generally fertilized eggs are used. Fertilized eggs. They uptake, or into that we introduce. Okay. And gene gone or particle gone or sort gone or biologistic method. Gene gone has alternative names. Remember here what happens, the foreign gene is introduced into a eukaryotic cell, okay, plant or animal cell, by using the tungsten or gold particles coated with the gene. Here in this technique, you see how it happens. Suppose it is a container here, or it is the tissue containing the plant cells. Suppose these are the plant cells. Okay, it is sorted from the gone with a high force. As we know that, suppose particles are like this, they are entering into. These particles are the containing the gene. So how it is done? It is particles containing gene, that required desired gene. So here in this technique, the tungsten or gold particles coated with the desired gene, gold particles coated with desired gene are bombarded into the target cells. So as the DNA fragments or the genes can enter and incorporate with the chromosomal content of the target cell. So as to facilitate the entry of foreign gene into that cell. Okay. Electroporation. What is electroporation? That in generally it is used for the plant cell. The plant cell where the cell wall is removed, the protoplast, and this is the protoplast, and these are the DNA fragments. Desired DNA fragment, foreign DNA fragment. This is foreign DNA fragment, and this is the protoplast. Generally done for the plant cells. Here in this medium, you see the negative and positive electrodes are inserted to create the pulses of high voltage. Okay, when the voltage strikes on it, when the volt strikes on the plasma membrane, it creates the pores. On striking, the pores are created. Okay, through this pore, this naked DNA fragment enters into the cell and incorporates with its chromosomal or genetic material, incorporates with its cellular genetic material. So what happens? It is done in a medium In this technique, the transfer of gene, foreign gene, okay, transfer of a gene is done directly into the target cell by creating the transient pores, transient or the temporary, by creating the transient or temporary pores with the use of electric pulses. With the use of electric pulses, by creating the electric pulses of a certain voltage, of a high voltage, thus the plant protoplasm receives the recipient, or the target cell is the plant cell, plant protoplasm, and the naked DNAs are entering into the cell protoplasm through these pores. Now the transduction. These are the different methods of transfection. These are vectorless. Remember, transfection is the vectorless. Okay, transfection is the vectorless methods. Vectorless method of gene transfer. Vectorless method of gene transfer. Okay, and as we discuss, this method is used in mainly in eukaryotes, in eukaryotics. Uptake of the foreign DNA segment in the eukaryotics. Okay. Transduction, it is the process of transfer of foreign genetic material or the foreign DNA fragment into a cell by using a virus. Using a virus or viral vector, or we can say the bacteriophage. Generally, it is introduced into the bacterial cell or the any eukaryotic cell, plant cell or animal cell. That bacterial cell for into a host cell for the cloning. Okay, why we introduce into a bacterial cell? Generally into a bacterial cell, that is to a host cell. So, and viral DNA, we know that viral DNA, they are harmful to the human beings. So these viral DNA are modified by the scientists to make them harmless before using it for the as a factor. So generally these are also known as viral virus or viral vector or bacteriophages. Bacteriophages which infect the bacteria. They are called bacteriophages. Okay, small viruses. So they can transfer this in by using this technique. It is a common technique to transfer or introduction. Transfer means introduction. Introducing the desired gene, that is the foreign DNA segment, desired gene into a bacterial cell okay, or into a host cell, or we can say into a eukaryotic cell. bacterial cell. Eukaryotic, bacterial means prokaryotic, eukaryotic, or into the host cell genome. Then okay, for the cloning or for the expression, the gene is introduced. But while introducing, these are the method for introduction of the naked DNA, where we introduce the recombinant DNA. How to select and screening and selection of the recombinant the plasmids or recombinant DNA, or the transformants, the cells which are transformed, which already taken up the recombinant DNAs. Okay, screening and selection, let us discuss. The screening and selection of the transformed the cells are done from the non-transformed. Transformed cells means the DNA material, the genetic material is altered. In the host cell, the genetic material is altered by the introduction of the recombinant DNA or the segment of that naked DNA. How we can select by specific screening method. The two methods are used: selective markers or chromogenic marker. Selective marker or chromogenic marker. We will discuss even chromogenic, color producing marker. Chromogenic markers. Okay. Acha. In selective marker, what are used? Ampicillin resistance gene and tetracycline resistance gene, AMPAR and tetar. As we know, the PBR 322, the standard plasmid is engineered for the rDNA technology, for the recombinant DNA technology, is having these two resistance, the antibiotic resistance gene, the ORI, the ROP, the replication of plasmid. Here the sequence of nucleotide that encode for the proteins which synthesize the plasmid, and here the EcoR1 site. These are the different sites of the RE, specific restriction site. Okay. So within the AMPAR, the PB1, PST1, within the tetar, the BEM-H1 and SAL1 is there, restriction site is there. Okay. So let us think how it is introduced. Suppose the cells are digested, the plasmids are digested like this. So kept in a container, the digested ones. So then added, what is added? Suppose these are the DNA fragments, the foreign DNA fragments are added into it. So DNA fragments. So what happens? All are not getting recombined. All are not becoming the recombinant ones. The many vectors, they join like this. Yes, of course, along with the ligase. These are plus ligase. Even ligase is there. So what happens? Some that digested vectors, the plasmids, they rejoin without incorporating the foreign DNA segment. Foreign DNA segment, which gene we need? Vector DNA, the circular plasmids, circular chromosomes, double stranded chromosome, they are not incorporating, they are not joining with this DNA segment. Some, okay, not all. So some are like this, they rejoin themselves, but some join with the desired gene or DNA fragment like this. Okay, I am giving red color for the desired gene. Okay, like this these are produced. So how we can select these recombinant ones, and suppose we have introduced also. So we don't know which one is the transformed one, which one is non-transformed. What we do usually, we introduce into the cell. We are keeping in one medium the cell, the without plasmid, the cells. Suppose some are receiving the recombinant DNA, and some cells are receiving only the normal, that non-transformed, it is non-recombinant, not recombinant. It is the original, that the DNA or extra chromosomal DNA called plasmid. Okay, so how we can segregate this R plasmid and plasmid, or from the transformed cells, or from the non-transformed cells? What I have written here, non-transformed cells. How we can segregate, how we will select, so that we can use this particular cell, host cell, for cloning, or how we can select this recombinant plasmid, so that we can use for cloning. So one screening method for the transformed from non-transformed. Suppose here it is the master plate. It is the master plate having all type of cells, bacterial cell, and it is generally the example of E. coli is taken. E. coli host cells are taken. Here are the various. Some cells, they are taken these plasmids, that non-recombinant, the normal plasmid. Some have not taken at all, and some have taken the recombinant. Suppose the tetracycline, here another example, let the gene of insulin, human insulin gene, is introduced into the tetar region. Okay, tetar here, suppose okay, here it is incorporated. So what happens? The tetar becomes non-functional, inactivate. So we used to say the screening and selection is done through a insertional inactivation, done by insertional inactivation. As the plasmid is containing two resistant genes, they are resistant to the tetracycline or ampicillin antibiotic medium. They can show the resistance, and they can survive in that. But when the human insulin gene, okay, our desired gene is inserted into the tetar, the tetracycline resistance gene becomes inactive. So the transformed ones cannot survive in tetracycline medium. Suppose here in this tray, ampicillin is treated. Here tetracycline. Here ampicillin followed by tetracycline. Ampicillin followed by, means first ampicillin, then followed by the tetracycline is treated. what happens? These transformant ones, the transformant cells containing the R plasmid, they can survive only in ampicillin, not in tetracycline. So those who are surviving in ampicillin, those who are surviving in the ampicillin and ampicillin sensitive So see, some are receiving, some cells have are received that the non-recombinant plasmid, some received the recombinant ones. So it is, suppose this is the master plate, okay, all type of that recombinant plasmid, non-recombinant, the transformed bacterial cell with the non-recombinant plasmid, transformed bacterial cell with the recombinant plasmid. Remember, here the bacterial cell received the non-recombinant plasmid, here recombinant plasmid, or some may be without receiving also, some may be without having any type. So let us discuss how they can be screened. You see this type, they are not having any resistance gene, they all will die. In ampicillin containing ampicillin treated medium, tetracycline treated medium, they will die. Or this is both, all they will be discarded, all they are discarded. But the containing the resistant, it is transformed, this bacterial cell, E. coli cell is transformed with non-recombinant, the normal plasmid. You see, without incorporating that desired gene, some plasmids are rejoined. Suppose these are having this type of non-recombinant plasmid, then they are resistant, because they are having the resistant ampicillin and tetracycline, both they are surviving. Here they are surviving. Which are surviving? The cells with the non-recombinant, the transformed cells. Cells are transformed. Transformed cells. Transformed cells with non-recombinant plasmid, with R plasmid, recombinant plasmid. These are not recombinant. Okay, but think about the recombinant ones. If the recombinant ones are treated, here in this tray, first ampicillin is treated, then the tetracycline, ampicillin followed by tetracycline. Here only ampicillin, in this tray only tetracycline. So when they are transferred, the bacterial colony, these are the bacterial colony having the recombinant, here, which one will survive over here? In ampicillin, the recombinant, that is where the insertion is done within the tetracycline antibiotic marker. The tetracycline tetra region, as the gene is inserted into the tetra region, they are sensitive, they are resistant in ampicillin, but sensitive to the tetracycline. So here all they die. They die. All this recombinant, the recombinant cell with recombinant cell with R plasmid, they die due to lack of resistance, because inactivation is done. Here the cell with R plasmid survive. because no insertion is done in the ampicillin region. That's all. Again I am telling, insertion is done. Suppose human insulin gene is inserted into the tetracycline marker gene, selective marker. Okay, these are called selective marker. For selection it is used. And the one tray is containing ampicillin, one tray tetracycline, one with both. In both those who are surviving, that colony might be, that definitely these are the normal plasmid without recombinant. Okay, and recombinant plasmids, which cells are received the recombinant plasmid, if they are surviving in ampicillin, that means surviving means this different type of colony surviving in ampicillin but not surviving in tetracycline, that confirms that these are recombinant ones. Another is chromogenic marker. You follow the bureau book and read again the bureau book and the our given PDF. Okay, then you can clear chromogenic marker. This is selective marker. In selective marker, antibiotic resistant genes are used. Here, chromogenic marker. In the EcoRA, there is a gene beta galactosidase. Here, suppose here is a gene beta galactosidase gene is there. Okay, the sequence. The beta galactosidase that gives the blue coloration. Beta galactosidase give the blue coloration of the E. coli colony. Blue coloration of E. coli colony. If the desired gene is inserted to that place, if the desired gene, the foreign gene is inserted, okay, into this region, then the beta galactosidase gene becomes inactivated. So, blue coloration will not be produced by the recombinant ones. So, how to select? It is an easy step. It is a tedious one, complex one. Selective marker is a complex method to find out, screen out and select the transformed ones. But it is a very easy one. If we are inserting the desired gene or the DNA, the fragment, foreign DNA fragment in the E. coli, that sequence, E. coli sequence where the beta galactosidase, nucleotides of the beta galactosidase is there, if inserted over there, then it is inactivated, so no blue coloration. If insertion done, is done at this site, no blue coloration, no blue coloration of the bacterial colony. Coloration of colony, bacterial, I am writing B only, colony. Okay, this is how we can do the screening test and select the recombinant, the DNA or the cells. Already we have introduced into the host cell. We can separate the host cells that have transformed with recombinant, transformed with maybe non-recombinant plasmid or recombinant. We need the transformed with recombinant plasmid to obtain our product, and we can use them for the cloning. Okay, write down all this. Thank you.